So today I'm gonna start working on the stock tank wood burning hot tub. I've been telling Katie that I'd make her hot tub one of these days, and so I saved up money and bought a stock tank just for the hot tub. So this stock tank is 2 feet by 2 feet by 6 foot long, and bought a 20 feet of copper pipe. This little water tank here, I'm thinking about turning that into the stove, and if I can get the pipe coiled and fit it inside here, I might have it vertical and then have the pipes coming out and then going into the side of the tank. I'm not 100% sure how I'm gonna do this yet, but I would like to try to use this because it's just been sitting around. It's out of a camper that I remodeled a few years back, and I just didn't throw it away because I'm a hoarder. But if I can use that, it would look good as the fire pit to this. So what happens is you start a fire, the coils have water in them, and it heats, and through siphoning it'll just heat the water tank up. So those are the materials so far. I got some fittings and some caps, and I watched some YouTube videos on how to coil pipe without crimping it. We'll see how that goes. So we're gonna get started here. I'm just winging this. I have no idea what I'm doing. But the first thing I did is I soldered a cap on the end of this. That was my first solder ever. I've never soldered anything before. But I bought a soldering kit with an electric gun thing. Didn't use that. Used a torch. So what I'm going to do, so I soldered that cap on. I'm going to fill this pipe. It's 10 foot long. I got to use the ladder to fill it with sand, and then wrap it around a bucket. The reason you fill it with sand is so it can't kink while you're bending it, spiraling it around. The reason I got straight pipe in the first place is because it was $2 a foot versus $6 a foot with the stuff that's already coiled. We'll see how this goes, see if it's worth it. But so now I got to get up on the ladder and fill with this funnel, fill it with sand, and then I have to solder on the other cap. And then I think once it's coiled, I can either heat it back up and pull the cap off, or cut it off if it doesn't come off. But I think it'll come off. I was going to use water in there, but I didn't think, instead of sand, but I didn't think I'd be able to solder wet stuff. I'm not sure. I'm going to use sand because I have a bunch of sand. This sand came out of my backpack that I trained to hunt with. I'm just going to use it for this. Hopefully I have enough sand. So that was a lot easier than I thought, filling it with sand. Took a lot less sand than I thought. I only used half of that bucket. I don't know, maybe 5 cups. And that pipe is 3/4 inch. But yeah, I just got up there on the ladder and filled it up with the funnel. I thought I was going to be there for a while filling that up, but it only took a couple minutes. So now I got to solder on the other cap and then start bending it. We'll see how that goes. because I've never done this before, so I don't know what I'm doing. Heat it up. Just suck it in. I don't know if you can see this at all. I think this is how you do it. Ooh. We're gonna call that good. Said I don't need it to be watertight, I need it to be sand tight. Ooh. Couple drops there. And we just let it cool, I think. So the plan is, I think I want to use this on the vertical. Maybe use that as the chimney piece. I don't know, put an elbow on that. And then maybe I want the coils to sit maybe this high up in this thing, and then cut a hole here for the fire. So then the heat will go up into here, and the coils will be, I don't know, mounted up here somehow. And then the actual pipe coming out that will go into the tank. There's a drain hole right there that I'm gonna use. And then have another hole up here. So we'll have two copper pipes coming out of this thing. So I'll have to drill some holes in here and get some copper that way somehow. We'll see. I'm not I'm not sure. But what I have to do is I have to coil that pipe, and what I'm gonna do is I think I'm gonna nail down this bucket on the sawhorses. I think if I coil it around this bucket, the coils will fit inside of that tank. So now I gotta screw down that bucket while I'm waiting for that to cool. And we're gonna give this bending copper pipe a try. So that's what I did to keep the end of the pipe there on that bucket, so I can get on that end and start twisting it around. I couldn't hold it and bend it at the same time. So that didn't work at all. I didn't even make one corner, and it broke. So now I don't know what I'm gonna do. All that wasted time. Going back and getting soft copper that I can coil around that bucket. And I returned one piece of that straight, rigid copper. The piece I broke, I'm gonna use to connect the stove to the hot tub. So now I just have to coil this soft copper around the bucket, and then make sure it fits in the stove. And I have to cut the stove and make a door and mount those like a door or something I'm gonna make out of it, or something like that. But yeah, so in the long run, the rigid pipe did not work because it snapped, as you saw, and had to go with the soft. A little bit more expensive, but is what it is. So just started coiling this pipe, and it is working oh so nicely now around this bucket. So I think we're gonna be in good shape. And there we have it. Perfectly coiled copper pipe. Now we gotta hope it fits in that not in the chicken, in that stove that I'm gonna make. Doing next is I gotta cut the door for the stove. It's gonna be right here. Obviously, I'm just gonna cut that square out. I'll probably put some hinges and a latch on one side too. This tank came with this inlet where you'd put water and this pressure valve, which I took off, but this pipe right here. So I should have some good venting. I think I'm gonna make the chimney right here. So now I'm gonna use the grinder wheel to cut that hole in, but I'm gonna keep that piece and use it as a door. So I cut the door open, or I cut a door into the stove, and it looks like that. So it opens up like that, closes. I put the fire in there, but I made a mistake and made the door too small, because I still have to get the coil in there. It's got to go up inside there, and it doesn't even come close to fitting. So I don't know what I'm gonna do about that. I do have to make the coil smaller, I'm pretty sure, because I was measuring the inside diameter of that bucket, which would fit, but that pipe is 3/4 inch, and all the way around that's another 1.5 inches, and I'm pretty sure it doesn't fit in there. And I know for sure it doesn't fit inside that door. So I don't know what we're gonna do, but if it did fit in the door, it's a pretty nice door. I don't throw away anything, so all this stuff is just random stuff I have in the toolbox. So I don't know what we're gonna do next with the pipe. I gotta make it smaller, I'm pretty sure. Well, that wasn't so bad. Found this Christmas popcorn tin and was able to wrap it around there. The pipes line up pretty close, coming out the same edge. I bet I can bend that a little bit more. A little bit of work, but not too bad. It's definitely smaller now, and I'm hoping it will fit up inside of there somehow, even if I have to cut the door a little bit and then bend it back, something like that. So we'll see how the rest of this goes. Gotta try to fit it in there now. So the coil is smaller, but it still will not fit inside the door. So I'll probably have to cut this side here just a little bit, and so the coil fits. I don't know, bend it back or leave a gap, I don't know. Dang, I wish I was thinking about that when I cut that door. I'm gonna use those two mounting brackets so the thing will stay vertical, because that round bottom is not gonna work out so great. I might pound that flat, the hammer, but I wanted to leave those on. And I didn't want to be too close to the chimney, so that's why I made the door as wide as it was, but a little bit wider have to be. I cut and bent that piece on this side of the door, and fits inside there, but these pieces don't. And I need those to be on the outside of this thing. So I think what's gonna end up happening is I'm gonna keep it right there, cut a notch in this door for that pipe, notch in this side and bend that back for that pipe, and that's now gonna be the top. And I'll have to cut in another door on this end for the fire. So I guess now I'll have a door on top and a door on bottom, which I don't know if I ever have to replace the pipe. That'd be okay, I guess. But not in the original design. I was thinking maybe I could have that coil small enough and those straight pieces or straighter pieces be down inside and I could push it up in and then pull them out, but that's not going to happen. I can't get that coil any smaller. And so I'll probably just straighten those pieces out, cut notches for them, and close it up. Probably put a different piece on there so I can close them and keep them closed. Oh well, just go with the flow. So here's what I came up with. It's not perfect. It's not pretty. But I think it'll work. This is gonna be the back side. I decided what I'm gonna do is cut the fire pit spot door right there. And then the water will come out the back side and go into the tub. Like I said, it's not pretty, it's not perfect, but I think it'll work. The coils are in there, as you can see, and I have to make that notch a little bigger if I wanted to have the door open all the way, but we'll see if I do that or not. All right, I think the next thing I'm gonna do is cut in the fire pit right there. New fire pit door. Put a new hinge and handle on it. That might work as a smokestack, but I doubt it with the holes up here. That's the back with the pipes coming out. I gotta solder the straight pipe to the tank, but that should work to start a fire in. And then, oh, it's kind of heavy. The coils are up there. All right, well, we'll see how that goes. 5mm piece of rubber laying around from another project I did. And so I just traced out the bottom of the tub and I put it in there. I'm not gonna glue it down or anything. Should be just fine right there. And a little bit of cushion, less slippery. Okay, I think I'm done. I soldered straight pipes on. They were 5 feet long, about 5 feet long. When I got them next to the tub, they were too long. So I cut a couple feet off of both of them. I decided to use the drain plug that was in the stock tank already, which meant I had to bury the stove pretty much like that to get that to line up. But after I did that, that's why you have 3 gas-powered ice augers to drill a hole in the ground. That one I don't use for ice fishing anymore. It's my post hole digger. But here it is. So these couplings here, I had to drill a hole and put this stock tank plug in. Tighten that up. Try to line it up. And this was just kind of a big old trial and error, test fit kind of thing, and that's what I came up with. There's really no turning back now. You can see all my tools and everything just all around. I have it up on blocks as well as dug in just to make everything line up, because I didn't want a super long pipe at a downward angle to the tank. So I buried the stove, put that up on blocks. With that said, I can still detach it and put it wherever I want. But for now, it's gonna be right here next to the back porch. So I'm gonna start filling it up with water now and get a fire going in it. Show you that when it's done. Kind of dark, but this is how it ended up. Just put some rocks around it, just for looks. But I'm gonna fire it up here in a sec. Hopefully the thing heats up. Actually, it didn't take that long to fill the water up, so surprised. I was thinking I'd maybe do it tomorrow, but I think I'll be able to do it tonight. Just started the first fire in the hot tub. See if that takes off or not. Or not. Oh, come on. Now we wait to see. Got the fire going. It's going good in there. There's plenty of airflow. And I'm pretty sure it's siphoning because I touched this. This pipe is cold. And that pipe is really hot. Really hot. That got hot fast. And if we watch here for a sec, I know it's dark, but there was just a little bloop. You can kind of see the, I don't know what that stuff is, but you could hear the water coming out. Oh, it's coming out. It's coming out hot. This is gonna heat up fast. Wow, that's way more efficient than I thought it was gonna be. That water is hot, hot. And these pipes are about, these outside pipes are about 3 feet long. And I have one tiny leak from right here. I think I'll just have to tighten that up. But yeah, this is cold. This pipe is cold. Goes in, goes through the coils. That's only one of these logs that, or one chunk of wood. It's not even a log. It's like a quarter or a sixth of a log into those coils. And that, man, I can barely touch that. After firing up the stove a couple times on the hot tub, we realized that we needed insulation around the hot tub to keep it warm. The water coming out was very hot, but it wasn't able to keep the tub warm, being metal and seeing that it's 15 degrees outside. So what I ended up doing is putting that insulation around it, and I used that 1.5 inch insulation, and then I put this kind of aluminum bubble wrap around that, and then I built this frame around it. You can see I have it on the bottom as well, all the way through. And I built that frame so I can put this corrugated metal on the outside of it. And then I'm gonna put a railing up around it. So that's where it is. The stove just wasn't able to keep the wood or the water hot. So we're gonna insulate the tub and then wrap it with that corrugated metal. Got it all tinned in. Sure. The corners aren't perfect, but other than that, it turned out okay. Just had one seam right here with the tin. That's gonna be on the back side. I'm using scrap tin, so just had what I had. Had to cut in these holes for the pipes. Those aren't perfect, but pretty good. I had to put these extensions on to go through the insulation in the tin. So I'll probably cut these off, I don't know, somewhere in here, and weld on the other piece. And then for the top, I'm gonna use this treated 1x6 and just outline the top with that. I finished the railing on the hot tub, and I think I'm pretty much done. I soldered those pieces back on, and that's how the tub turned out. Looks pretty good for not knowing what I was doing. I'm pretty happy with the whole thing. Now I gotta get it all wired up. And not wired up, fired up to the stove, put some water in it. But turned out pretty good, if I do say so myself. I gotta figure out how I'm gonna move it back over to where it was supposed to go.